Okay, we're gonna get started now. All right, welcome to the Micro Futures Trade Masterclass. Today I'm going to be talking about the trade that opened up about a little less than 2 years ago, and it has really made a big difference for retail traders, and I really believe that this trade is going to be extremely popular. And the reason for that is because it's very easy to trade. It is very small positions, and there's no PDT rules, no restrictions on day trading on these. Okay, and the the amount of margin that you need to trade this is very small as well. I wouldn't recommend the smallest size, but we'll talk about that. Okay, so I'm really excited about this, and we're doing a lot with it, and you'll see my performance, and it's just an amazing trade. Okay, so hopefully you'll find value in it. So let's begin here. Okay, so what can you expect from tonight's presentation here? Okay, I'm going to show you how you can make consistent returns monthly based on margin capital risk using micro futures without taking large losses, and make those returns month over month. Okay, so what are you going to learn? What exactly are micro futures? How to enter and exit your trades? How much capital you'll need to trade micro futures? When to scalp or use swing trades? And how to accurately and effectively identify bottoms or tops. And finally, how many contracts you should trade with, and how to manage multiple contracts. Okay, so stick with me till the end here. We have a special bonus, and I'll share that with you towards the end. And also, if you could just put aside all distractions. If you have questions, what I would recommend is that you write them down, and we will answer them at the end. Okay, I promise you I will answer every question that you have. We just want to make sure that we get through the material, and you're able to absorb it without interruption. Okay, all right, so first question is, why are you here? All right, and I set out basically 3 questions or 3 reasons why you would be here, and hopefully you're in one of those camps. Okay, number 1, you're interested in learning new strategies that will take your trading performance to the next level, and you can finally leave that 9-to-5 career. Okay, seen, heard about, read about money trading, and you know you can do it too, but you're just not seeing your account grow fast enough. And number 3 is you've tried different trading strategies that you thought, okay, this is it, only to discover that it's not getting you to the place of consistent trading results. So if you could just let me know in the chat here which one fits you the best. You can be number 1, number 2, number 3, or all 3. That would be great. Okay. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, KG. All right. Perfect. 3, 2. Yep, I was in the 3 camp for a long time. Okay, thank you very much. Just to let you know, I'm a regular guy. My wife and I, that's me and my wife on the left-hand side, live in Puerto Rico. We have a great life here, very relaxed island life. In the middle there, those are 4 of 5 of my kids. And on the right-hand side, those are my parents, and that was a MBA program a long time ago that I went through. Okay, so just a regular guy that loved to trade, and my dream was to trade full time, and I finally was able to arrive a little late, but I made it. Okay, so the mindset of a trader is very important, and so I want to start out with just visualizing or painting this picture in your mind, okay, of what it would feel like if most of your trades were winners month after month, and it would be confirmed by watching the size of your account grow at the same time. The second part of this is becoming the trader that no longer takes large losses, but consistently trades according to a proven trade plan, and that's really important, that is profitable over time, allowing you to grow your account month over month, okay? That's really the goal here. Just a quick note on this year's performance of my micro trades. I trade a lot of other things too, but this is not the high because I had some losses, okay, and this is normal to have some losses. But it's a solid trade, and last year I made like, I don't know, I can't remember. It's like 19,000 for the year, okay, and I plan to exceed that this year. So trading micro futures, not the big minis, you know, not the minis, but the micro futures. All right. Okay, so let's talk about profitability factors. Really, there's two. It's very simple. You need to get the market direction right. And in which direction does the market usually trade? Up, right? The market is generally going up. And so I position most of my trades doing on the long side, all right? And the second part is trade management. You really know you really need to know how to manage your trade and do that correctly so that you can come out profitable. So trading small and trading often is really one of the keys, and getting the trend right. Okay. All right. So let's talk about risk guidelines and daily routines. So first of all, always trade with a trade plan, right? And the trade plan should include entry and exit criteria, trade size, composition, etc., and when not to trade. Determine max loss or risk reward when entering your trade. Understand that. Trade no more than 20% of your working capital. Number 4, do not allow more than a 2% loss. A lot of traders use 1% loss based on your trading capital, and this will keep you solvent. And size your trades to ensure emotions are not part of the decision-making process. Trade small, trade often, okay? So just a quick note on that. You know, sometimes people don't really realize how much psychology has in trading. But if you position, you know, and you want to get in there and you want to make money quick, and that, you know, that's what you want to do. But there's a process, okay? And you really need to learn how to trade and position yourself. And once you get that down, everything else really becomes easy, okay? So this is really important, the trade size in your trading. Okay, pre-market routine. What do? I review support and resistance areas in the market. That'll tell me where basically there's congestion and when it's going to stop. And just an example today, well, I'll share a trade with you. Actually, I'm going to share several trades, but I'm going to share one of the trades with you that I took on this morning, and just share with you how it worked out, okay, and using support and resistance. I look at the dollar just because close to 50% of the S&P 500 companies get their revenue or derive their revenue from overseas, okay? So the dollar down means cheaper prices abroad. So that's really important to understand. It helps the market go up. Treasury notes. I review treasury notes, and I don't know if you've been watching the news or, you know, CNBC or whatever, but they talk a lot about that just because inflation, the only way to stop inflation is to raise rates, okay? And so you slow down the economy, slow down inflation basically. And so there's a lot of talk about inflation, and I have my own opinions about that and pretty strong ones, but the types of inflation that causes, the types of, the type of inflation that causes problems in the economy are those that in wages, okay? So because that's really sustainable. But the types of inflation that are in commodities, they go up and down basically all the time. If you look at gas, right? Gas is always going up or down. It's just not sustainable for that kind of inflation. Okay, it's really wage pressure. Okay, and we still have a lot of people out of work at this point. All right, so I review ES futures. ES is a symbol for E-minis, right? MES is a symbol for micros. and review what trading direction the market is going in at that time, okay? Before the market opens. I review the VIX, which is the volatility index for the S&P 500. Higher volatility means that you need your positions, your stops probably wider, just because the market is moving much faster and more aggressively, and when it's lower volatility, it's just the opposite. All right, so those are the pre-market routines. The post-market routines is I determine if rules were broken and why. If you're breaking your rules, it means you're not following your plan. It's important that you understand why you did it and go back to maintaining your discipline, okay? Consistently breaking your rules will lead to ruin, I can guarantee you. Determine if risk was within acceptable levels, especially for wins, okay? And the reason for that is because when you're risking too much and winning, it creates complacency, and that will eventually catch up to you. All right. Determine if losses were within acceptable ranges. The reason for that is too big of a loss and too small of a too big of a loss and too small of a loss is not good. Big losses are due to position size too large or breaking your rules. Losses that are too small means that you're either trading with fear or you're just not risking enough to offset the eventual losses that you will have. Okay. And you want to have small losses. Determine tweaks if adjustments are necessary in your trade plan, and update your trade journal with your findings just to make sure that you keep a check on yourself. All right. Let's move on here. So now we're going to talk about the actual trade strategy for micro futures. Okay. First thing is these are 2 of the 4. The other 2 that are missing are the Russell 2000 futures and the Dow futures, okay? Micro futures. I trade MES, which is the futures for the S&P 500, and MNQ, which are the futures for the NASDAQ 100, right? And so you can see there the position size of each. I can just tell you the normal margin requirement is 1,200 and 1,700 for overnight trading. But if you open a Tradeovate account, it will allow you to have that little bit of margin for each contract on that little bit of margin that you need for each of your contracts. Okay, for day trading, I wouldn't recommend to trade that small, because this is a leveraged instrument, and it could go against you the wrong way. And if you have $100 account and you lose $40, well, that's a big chunk, right? So what I recommend is always at least $3,000 per micro that you have. Okay, all right, that's that. And let's talk about the trade setup. So this setup is for longer term MES and MNQ swing trades, all right? And I typically enter a long position, going, basically positive, not shorting. I do sometimes short, but typically the market moves aggressively, quickly down, right? And takes a while to move up. It kind of grinds higher and swings aggressively down. That's kind of how the markets work. Okay, so in this is a little bit of a technical part, and we're going to talk about ABCD patterns here, and that's really the patterns that I use is the ABCD pattern mostly. So the pullback and the fib retracement, and I'm going to show you a diagram here in a second of the C in the ABCD pattern, falls between 0 and 23.6%, and not to exceed 38.2%. So here's an example, right? So so this is the A, B, C, and then D is up here, which you'll see in another slide. Okay, but this is a Fibonacci retracement, and so we draw from the bottom left to the top right on the Fibonacci retracement, and that's how you get your fib lines. All right. So so that's the percentage from the bottom. So the percentage from the bottom, from 0 to this area here, is the 23.6 area, and from here to here is the 38.2 area. All right. And so what I mentioned in the back here is that C falls between 0 and 23.6, not exceeding 38.2. So the most when you're placing a trade, this area right here, the bottom, okay, this part right here, the C level, doesn't exceed this 38.2 area. Okay. You want it to come down here, and basically what it's doing is it's testing the low, all right, so that you have confidence that it's not going to continue going down. However, sometimes it does, and that's why we have stops. So let's move on here. All right, so let's talk about trade entry and management. So one contract is advisable with an account that is less than 10,000. Entry should be on a pullback between the 38.2 and 23.6, as I mentioned before. That's a retracement after the C leg is identified. And then entering below 23.6 is riskier. It can be done, all right? But you're really, really close to the bottom, and it could, you know, when you're that close, a lot of times it could continue falling and take out the low, and then you know you're ending up with a stop loss. And so, but anyway, that's just one alternative in trading this. After entering the trade, the initial stop loss is set at a support level below the A leg. Okay. Now, when I set my my stops, I set them wide, which means far away from the position, because I trade very, very small. And what I do is, if the market goes against me, as long as I have the trend right, okay, it'll go down, and then many times I'll add a contract as it's going down. So I'll basically add positions as the market's going down, and then when it goes up, right, I'll get a larger profit. Now that's a little bit dangerous, and you have to be confident of your, you know, of what you're doing to do that. Okay, that's when you gain experience. So the initial wide stop is broken. An alternative entry is identified and entered with a new stop. Okay, so what happens is, what I do is I place my stops basically so that it's not a catastrophic loss. It could be a little bit larger loss than normal, but it's not a catastrophic loss. And so a lot of times I'll trade at night, I'll put my stops in, I go to sleep and let it run. Okay, I don't have to be watching the screen. A lot of times I'll be trading during the day, and I'm trading a lot of different things, and I don't have to watch it consistently. Although I have my charts up, right, I'm not concentrating on that, because I put in my stops and my targets, and I move on to other things. Okay, so you don't have to be sitting in front of a screen. All right. So so what happens is, if that stop loss breaks, I'll wait to see what happens. Okay, is the market going down? And I can tell you, yesterday, when the market was really going down, it broke one of my stops, and I just left it and looked at what was going on. But right after that, the market continued going down. So obviously I didn't put on another position. I just waited and let this thing go, okay, until this morning, when I actually traded that position. All right. So again, here's the entry. You want to enter right around that area right there, and that's really, really ideal. Okay, that's really the ideal area. So you have a drop here, a nice, and it didn't touch the bottom part of this. Okay, it didn't break the A leg, and you have a nice strong candle here and continuation candles. So that's basically a perfect entry to your trade. Okay, all right. I try to do this as much as possible. Now you can use this on multiple time frames. You can use it on, I use it on hourly for the most part, because I swing trade, and my trades are longer in duration, it could be from several hours to a couple days, okay, that I trade. And then move on from there. Okay. Okay. Profit targets are established based on fib extensions. Okay. So what we talked about in what we were talking about on the graphs on the charts that we're looking at, those are fib retracements. So what I'm going to be talking about now is a fib extension, right? So profit target should always be taken between the 100% and the 125% fib extension level. And here it is. So this is a tool that we use in Thinkorswim, okay? And so you get the extension tool, and what it does is that you have to chart your A, B, and these are pivot areas, right? So the bottom where it pivots, and the top B part where it pivots, and then the C part where it pivots, right? This is the same chart I was just showing you where the retracement was. It started over here. So this is the extension now, and it shows here on this side, okay? So the extension is basically forecasting where the market's going to go, okay? And so when I said 100 level or 125 level, that's what I was talking about, okay? All right. So when I enter my trade here, I wait, I put my stop below the A, I set my target up here to the 100 level, and I just let it run, okay? That's what I do. And so this pattern works over and over and over again. It's a repeating pattern that traders use, and it just works. Now, sometimes it doesn't reach the target, but some things that you can do when you're waiting for this trade is, for example, let's say you enter the trade right down here, okay? And then it moves up a little bit to this area, okay? And you say, okay, great. So now I've got a profit. So why don't we set a stop loss? Now I can move my stop loss to here where I entered, okay? And if it goes down, the worst that can happen is I break even, okay? So a lot of times I'll do that. A lot of traders will do that. So in this case, and after you put that break even stop loss in, the market will go down here, and it'll, you could see a pivot here within this trade, right? So you say, okay, so now I can move my stop loss up a little bit, and I'll put it right under this candle, right? So now you can be assured that you're going to get out of this trade with a profit. And so I typically do this as well. And then the other way that you can do this is you can actually set a trailing stop to where the market is just continually moving up. And as the market moves up, so does your stop loss automatically. Okay. So that's just another way that you can put stop losses in. All right. So now let's move on to some other technical things that we use as traders to identify areas of support and resistance. So the IB, which is initial balance, you have an IB high and an IB low. Both initial balances take place within the first hour of trading. Okay, so and those are your levels. Now traders use those. Okay, so in this case, the low was made, and it didn't break the low within the first hour. So this would be the initial balance level. Secondarily, on the high within the first hour, okay, you can see another high here, but that wasn't within the first hour. It's 9:30 to 10:30. So this is where you have your initial balance is set. Okay, so the high during this range here was set here, and so traders will use this to basically trade breakouts or fake breakouts like this one here and short. So you go down. All right. I don't typically use this, but it is a type of trade that you can use. So here's the longer term chart on it. You can see where at 10:30, right, we made, by this time here, right, the trade was done, or the initial balance was in. And then after that, the market moved up and it kind of just did nothing, So if you want to trade a breakout, you basically let it go up, you go down, and then you can get in here. But after that, it just really did nothing other than at the end, break down and go down. Okay. So, you could have waited there until, because you had basically resistance up here and support here. Once it broke one of those, then you say, okay, now I'm going to get in once it breaks. And in this case, it would have broken down, and you would have made some money here. Okay, so that's just one way of trading futures using the IB levels. Okay, so now let's talk about finding a bottom. This is really important because every pattern always tells you, once you confirm a bottom, this is what you do. All right, so it's important that you learn how to identify a bottom. So I'm going to talk about bottoms. I'm not going to talk about tops, because tops are essentially the same, but they're harder to identify because they are. I can't explain why. They're just harder to identify. And that's another reason I like to trade long most of the time. Okay, why fight it? All right, so now I'm watching the market, okay, and you guys are too. So just pretend you're watching a live market, okay? So now we see here that there's a bottom, okay? It appeared right here. So it's a pivot point because it went down here, that was the bottom, and it moved up again. So now what happens is that bottom tested and it failed because it broke this bottom here, right? And it's going to do this several times. As you can see, this thing trying to go up, but then going down and breaking the bottom again. Tested it again there, and it failed. Formed another bottom here, went up, tested it, okay? And then it formed another bottom. Now, there wasn't even a test at that point. The market just went up, and then it went up here and it went down, but never touched this area. And again, you're going to see this pattern over and over again, right? So it basically made a higher low here. And that tells you, okay, now it's a reversal. This is a reversal. So let's put this on a longer time frame. So that whole time that we were looking at was from 10:30 to 11, okay? Until, and this is now the 5-minute chart. We were looking at a 1-minute chart. So that time frame now went up and it went down, but it never touched or tested. It did test. So this is considered a test of the bottom, but it never breached it. Okay. And so after that, it went up again. Okay. So now this is a tradable position. And this is where you would take the trade, right at this green candle, at the earliest time you possibly can. All right. So let's look what happened here. We had a series of higher lows, okay, that happened, and then another series of higher highs, right? And so as long as that's happening in a trade that you're long in, you want to stay in that trade. And when do you get out? Well, you can see here that this made a high. Now here it went down, but then it tried to go up, but it didn't really take out the high. Okay, so at that point you had a lower high, and once you confirm that, that's where you would get out of the trade. So this trade would be finished right here, and you would get out, and you see after that it went down, it just kept going down. Okay, and you can even say, okay, so if we had a lower high, this is shortable. So you could have shorted this, put a stop above this area here, right, and let it run down until you had, a nice profit. Okay, so you can trade it both ways on that. Hopefully this is helpful to you. Okay, it's kind of meticulous, but if you have time sitting in front of a screen to identify a bottom, this is what you do. Okay, this is what I do. But I don't have to look at it. I just glance at the charts, and then you pick it up, all right, because you see these patterns over and over and over again, all right? And again, I promise you I will answer all your questions. Okay, so let's move on. This is the chart of this morning that I actually created, right? I took a picture of this chart, and the reason is because it is a perfect ABCD pattern. Now, you may not see it, but in a couple, in a second here, you're going to be able to identify, man, this is an ABCD pattern, all right? And if you do this over and over again, you don't have to draw the lines. You see them, okay? Now, like I see them. They're invisible to me, but I see them, right? So this is what it is. It's a perfect ABCD pattern, and I'll tell you why it's perfect. So there's A to B, B to C, and C to D. And so what do you see here, okay? This A to B is almost exactly C to D, all right? That's what makes a perfect, and then you have the zigzag in the middle, right? There's a nothingness here. This is basically a congestion area. And I drew here a pennant, basically, and this is a bear pennant or bear flag. Market's going down, it's trending down, runs into congestion, right? Sometimes it'll go up, but if it's in a trend down, it's going to continue going down, right? And so you don't want to trade this here because it's all over the place and very sloppy. You want to trade it when it breaks, okay? So this is what makes the ABCD pattern, and a lot of traders will trade this here at the D part, okay? I trade at the C part. I like trading at the C part, not the D part, because the D part, here you're going long, right? Now, this morning, I actually took this trade, right? I took this trade because I saw the symmetry of what was happening overnight, right? And I said, this is about to reverse, okay? So you have to wait for a trigger for it to reverse. And this low here, and this is an hourly chart, okay? This low here was an extended candle, and it was basically a reversal candle, okay? And then I got a nice green candle here, no more red, and I said, okay, this is where I'm going to enter. So I entered this trade this morning, and I got out right around here, okay? And I traded it with both the MNQ and MES trade, and they trade very similarly, all right? So, and I actually made more money with the MNQ. So I traded MNQ and MES, right? And it was a few hour trade, right? But it was $300 in that with basically two contracts, and it made me $300. Okay, so that's how it worked out. And again, you can see these patterns over and over and over again once you start trading these patterns. All right, so this is the second part of the presentation that I wanted to share with you guys. All right, so part of what I do is I trade futures, and we do have a trade alert service. Okay, and in the trade alert service is not just, we don't just give people, okay, put on a trade, this is your entry, these are your stop losses, have at it. What we do is we actually teach them how to trade, and we teach them these kinds of patterns and more. All right, I trade with a guy named Ike. He's very, very good with Elliott Wave and uses it for his trades, and he teaches in a live room futures, all right, trading futures. So this is part of what we do as a service. And so you learn while you earn. Okay, it's the best thing in the world. You're actually learning how to do this, and you eventually will become an independent trader. So remember, we talked about why you're here. You want to learn new strategies. If this is new to you, then you're in the right place. Okay, maybe you're not seeing your account grow. You haven't found the right strategy. I promise you that if you try with our trade alert service, you're gonna make money. And not only are you going to make money, I guarantee that you're going to make money. All right, because I have a guarantee in the service that if you actually lose money in the first month, I will return your membership costs to you plus 25%. And I have for the last 2 years, I have never had to give that away. All right. So let's talk about breaking the barriers. Okay. Because I know that you're here because your trading is not probably the greatest. Okay. Or you could be here because you want to learn a new strategy, and that's great. Right. But if you're like me, I spent years, trying new things and for them never working. Okay. Until finally I got very, very serious about what I was doing, and I focused and finally got the results that I wanted. Okay. And not only that, I put, I didn't want other people, I wanted to show other people that they didn't have to go through the pain that I did. All right. By just putting a structure together that works for you over and over again. Okay. All right. So learning, training, instruction, practice leads to success. All right. It's not the only thing. So let's talk about breaking the barriers. Will you keep doing what you're doing and hope that one day it's going to stick, or are you going to finally take the steps that'll get you to the place that you want to be that works? It takes discipline. Not only does it take the things that I just mentioned, it takes discipline, it takes commitment, having an edge or multiple edges, all right, and a no quit attitude, because you're going to take losses, right? But losses teach you something each time, and you learn something, and as long as you don't quit, you will be successful. Okay, all this does lead to success. So our trade alerts are sent directly from my accounts. We don't have that for futures yet, but we're going to be working on it because I switched brokers to Tradeovate. Okay, and that's a broker that I do recommend. All right, they're sent directly to your phone or computer and announce high probability trades, option trades, and futures trades, and allows you to make consistent income month over month. All right. Second part of that is that even if you're just starting or already successful and you're willing to expand your strategies, our trade alerts will help you trade at the highest level. It's designed to transform your trading from uncertain to predictable and teach, right? We have teaching and training how to generate returns. So we have two kinds of chats. One chat is a two-way communication that we talk to our traders, and the second one is one-way communication where our trade alerts reside. So most of my trade alerts come from my account. The other ones I place in the channel. And so all that goes in the channel, there's no conversation. It's just the trade alert. So it's very, very clear. Excuse me. You can set those trade alerts to ding, to light up, and they work exactly the same on your computer, on your laptop, on your Mac, on your iPhone, on your Google phone. The app works in all of them, and even in a web browser now. Okay, they just came out with a web browser on Telegram. So it's an awesome tool, and it's very quick, and it's very secure. Okay, so we talked about the channels, and they were one way. And here's some trader success stories. This is an options trader. Matt actually worked with him in another company, and he loves the monthly trades because it's a career trade, right? You set that thing up, and you hardly have to monitor it. Luke has been with us for I think over a year, almost 2 years, and he really loves the service and has not lost money in any single month over the years that he's been with us. Emmy just joined us about 2 months ago, and he loves the program, loves the attitude, loves the community that we've created, and it really is a great place to trade, right? And Brian, I work with Brian, and he is a short-term trader, mini futures, and he really got going on my swing trades. That he just leaves, and eventually they turn out a profit most of the time. Okay, so I mentioned my guarantee, and here it is. So if you subscribe for 1 month and lose money by following my trades, I'll refund your subscription by 125%. This is the cost, right? And what's happening is that this is the futures cost is 129. That price is going to be going up after this launch. So we open our trade alerts 4 times a year. So every 3 months we open it and then we close it. We're going to be closing it next week. So we're going to be off, all right? And our focus is to our traders, because during this time where we're bringing in new students, there's a lot of questions that they ask, and when they're in the room, right? A lot of the other new traders or new subscribers are watching, and they're wanting to answer they're wanting answers to the same questions. And so it really works really well for us when we open and then close it. And then once we close it, we're completely focused to our traders, on our traders and making money. Okay. So tonight, actually, the price is $39.79 and $109. Okay. That price is going to be gone tonight. Right. We're gonna go back to our standard amounts. And so if you want to get in for this price and the 109 price for futures, if you get in now, you're always going to have that price. We're never going to raise the price on you forever. All right. We are planning to raise it to 149, the standard rate, but just because we spend a lot of time with traders and teaching them how to trade futures. It's not only me. We have actually 3 traders that trade futures. Myself, I swing trade, and then Ike uses Elliott Wave, and another trader that we're bringing on is a scalper and very short-term trader. So he gets in, gets out, and that's how it works. But after tonight, the 109 goes away, and the price in 3 months will be 149. Okay. Okay. So let me put up the offer here, so you have a place to go if you choose to take me up on my offer here. Okay. We have close to 300 members now in our group, and it's growing. And I think before the end of the year, we're going to be over 500, just because how popular this program is and what people get for it. Okay. So I'd really encourage you to try it out. Again, you don't have to, you can cancel it at any time. You can actually join today, set your account to cancel, and then you'll never be billed again. All right. So that way you can take advantage of it. Okay. All right. So we do have a credit spread trading course. And that's available also. It's an additional cost, but I created this based on my independent coaching of traders, right? So I used to do one-on-one with traders, and I used to charge $800 for 8 sessions, right? And I thought it was a pretty good deal. I think they did too. And then I moved to group coaching, which was $400 for a group, and we did like 20 people. The course value is close to $400. The regular price of the course is $149, but now for tonight, we're pricing it at $129. Okay, so you can upgrade your subscription and pay for the course. And the course, I've gotten just stellar reviews for it. We really do cover everything from psychology to technicals to everything trading, and focused on 0 DTE, 7 DTE, and monthlies. Okay. So I'd encourage you to take advantage of that. All right. So the question is this for you? If you want to learn a step-by-step process to gain income in a market that goes up and down, you want to finally break the series of losses and account drains, and you want to earn consistent income that sets you apart from other traders, this is it. I'm telling you, this is the way to go. And I started the Facebook group 2 years ago with the intent that hey, I don't want to trade alone, and I know that in a community of traders where I'm teaching, right, my performance is going to go up. And I'm helping somebody else not have to go through the 20 years of pain that I went through to figure out what my strategy was and how I was going to trade every day. Okay, it took me a long time, and now I'm just basically giving it to you guys. Okay, so what do you have access to? 20% off now, $20 off for life. You're working with professional traders and in groups, and we have a training outside of the Trade Alert service. We have a separate website that we put content in for education and training. Okay, so that is part of it all as well. Automated signals that come in within seconds. Entry information about your entry, about your target price, about your stops, and the guarantee that you'll make money. Okay, so that's really it. I want to get to the questions here if you have questions. So let me see. Do I provide a trade journal? I don't. And the crux of my trading is within my trade plans. And anytime that anytime that I have a change of what's going on, what I do is I document it and make a change to my trade plan. Okay. My time frames in the charts, I use 1 minute, 5 minute, and hourly. I set my targets based on the hourly. Okay. I do my entries based on the 1 minute and 5 minute. The entry targets and stops are placed in this place same as the stocks. Yeah, it's futures trades is just another instrument. It's like a stock that you trade, only it's leveraged. Okay. How many confirmation candles do you wait before entering a trade? It's really not so much the number of candles, but it's really the reversal pattern, right? When the market comes down and then it pivots the other way, that's when I get in. You should raise all your prices. I'll keep my okay, sounds good. And keep me grandfathered in. Absolutely, I'll keep you in, Luke. Swing trader playing options. Yes, exactly. Swing trader playing options. Is that a question? I'm not sure. Okay, where do you sign up? There's an offer that I just shared with you guys. Let me know if you can't see it. You should be able to see that. There's a link in there. You just click on it, and it'll take you to the Telegram page and give you the instructions on how to trade there. Yeah, the futures are part of the package, and I can tell you a lot of people sign up for futures, and that's all they trade. But it's just part of, but it's a very low cost, compared to other programs out there for futures. How many futures trades do I put on a week? I am putting on almost every day. In fact, I'm in a trade right now as we speak. Okay, I'm in MNQ and MES and kind of watching it on the side here. But stops are in and emotions are out. I place up to 4 contracts each on, depending on how I'm trading, I'll go up to 4 contracts on each position. What's the platform I'm using? I'm using Tradeabate, but I've heard good reviews on AMP futures and Ninja trades as well. The $129 a month, that's the course, okay? It's not the subscription. So the $129 is just for the course, and it does include 0 DTE, 7 DTE, and monthly. But it does not include futures. I'm actually starting to write a course on futures itself. It's just another animal. Okay. Wow, I went through all the questions. That's great. I must have did good today. Any other questions that you have? Anything I can help you with in terms of joining? And again, the prices will be at this level until midnight tonight, or close to it when I go to sleep. Yeah, 109. The 109 cost includes everything basically. So you get the 0 DTE, 7 DTE monthly. You get other trades that we put on, credit spreads. We put on the wheel strategy. So we do a lot of different trades. I think we counted, it was between 40 to 50 trades a week, okay, that we put on. Any other questions? Thanks, Gary. Appreciate it. All right, perfect. Well, I hope to see you there. If you have any questions or concerns, you can reach out to me directly. You can email me. through Facebook. You can email me through my email account. You can go into Telegram and reach out to me, and I always respond back. All right, guys. Thanks, and I appreciate it. Okay, thanks, guys. Have